Good morning, folks. Lana here with a video inspired by sort of convergence of ideas that I read in Harriet Lerner's Dance of Anger book and Glennon Doyle's Untamed book. And the topic is anger. And in Glennon Doyle's book, she talks about anger ringing a bell of one of our core beliefs, and sort of ringing our, the metaphor is ringing your house's doorbell and delivering one of your root beliefs about yourself or about life or how people should be. And the example she gives is seeing her partner lounging around the house, relaxing while she is doing housework. And she becomes triggered and passive-aggressive, and that anger that's rising up is delivering this core belief that you're not valuable or worthy unless you're doing something. And she's frustrated because her partner is resting and doing something that she herself feels like she cannot do or does not have the permission to do. And for me, I really identify with that form of passive aggression. I always say I'm not an angry person. I don't like to yell. I'm not someone, I don't know. And of course, anger doesn't just have to show up in yelling, but I don't find that I'm a really angry person. Things can frustrate me sometimes, but where anger shows up in my life tends to be in resentment or passive aggression. And generally, all those feelings end up being tied to really frustration with myself for not giving myself permission to do something that others are. Whether it's speaking up for myself more confidently, taking up space, taking time to rest, giving myself grace to be a flawed human being, whatever that may be, if I see someone else doing it. Or I think anger can kind of show up in almost jealousy too, of if someone else is doing something that I want to do or I haven't gotten there yet. I think that can also maybe show up a little bit for me. But anyway, in Harriet Lerner's book, she talks a lot about anger as a clarifying emotion, and how oftentimes when we are in arguments or cycles of dysfunction with people, we end up arguing about maybe something more surface, because we haven't taken the time to truly sit with what the anger we're feeling is actually about and actually trying to tell us. So on the surface, you might blame and sort of pathologize somebody else and say, well, they're a difficult person and they don't understand what I'm they're not trying to be collaborative or whatever it is. But if you sit with your feeling and maybe reflect on your own personal accountability in the situation, because that's all you can control, right? We can't change other people, but we can change how we react to them, act with them. We can figure out, okay, what is the true problem? Is the problem that this person cuts me off when I talk to them and it triggers my own feelings around feeling unheard or undervalued? Or, I don't know, is this person really loud and takes up a lot of space and makes it feel like there's no room left for me, and secretly I'm kind of jealous that they give themselves the permission to do that. I don't know. There's both books I highly recommend. There's a lot there, but I think just my biggest takeaway so far is, anger is not a bad emotion. No emotions are bad. We shouldn't label any emotions as a bad thing. And again, from Glennon Doyle's book, she has a little sticky note on her mirror and it says, "Feel it all." And I think I've been in a constant journey in my life of doing just that, feeling it all, right? You've got to be open to the process of life and all of the fun and not so fun feelings and emotions and lessons that come with it. And anger is just one of those feelings. And every feeling, every bit of discomfort, even joy that arises within ourselves is telling ourselves something. And it can be a teacher. And yeah, and often it can feel easier to externalize our problems and tell ourselves that it's the other person or the world or our circumstance that's the issue. But I saw a quote just yesterday, I think it was a Buddhist quote, something along the lines that if you're waiting to be happy, you'll never be happy, because you have the choice. You can choose how you react and how you want to feel and go about life. Obviously, there are extenuating circumstances that make that very difficult, and I am saying this in the comfort of my own home, in a country that does not have civil war going on and conflict, and I'm not impacted by climate change very much, etc., etc., etc. I have a job I can go to. I'm not living with abuse. Like, there's just so many points of privilege for me here saying that. But even when we hear from folks like Holocaust survivors, it is often, not entirely obviously, mind over matter. And some of the strongest people in history have made the best out of the worst situations. And we can only aspire to try and do that. And yeah. And again, listen to what the knowing, as Glennon Doyle talks about it, what our inner God or inner wisdom is telling us. And yeah, just listen to all the signs. Listen to all the signs, because they are our guiders, our guiding posts and opportunities to grow, to be an even more full, whole, alive version of ourselves each day. So yeah, feel it all. Feel it all, even the aches. The aches remind us we're alive. The aches tell us to stay alive, feeling, and be a little wild. Feel it all and pay attention. You know more than you think. It's all within. You just have to pay attention to it. There is my philosophical chat of the morning. Listening to the birds, the little bits of wind chimes. And it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day because I will it so. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.